it is kind of icing on the cake. I will say, it's in that perspective, he's saying like as a plus.
You know why?
I think it is somewhat of ice on the cake.
You know why I don't care about that?
Why is that?
Because when she falls under my leadership, I don't give a damn what your daddy, your grandfather, your uncles have to say. I'm going to lead it my way.
Which it should be.
And obviously, you believe in my leadership.
But she got to see what a leadership looked like.
All that, when you become a grown person, see, that's the problem. We don't take accountability. The moment you decide that you is grown, all that shit that you say you ain't seen and all that type of shit, I ain't seen no good relationship shit. You know what good shit feel like. You know what right and wrong feel like, look like, be like. You know what this shit look like.
When you in the moment, when you got feelings involved, it can get shaky.
You know what this shit feel like.
It can feel a certain way, but it be wrong.
I knew leaving my mama household, I knew I would never go back. I knew I would never be the man I saw growing up. If I'm opposite of you, I'm doing something great.
But everybody's not like that. They're going to fall into what they've been used to seeing.
And
not saying it's right. They just see, hey, I might have had a dad.
I'm not saying
he might have put his hands on it every now and then, but they loved each other.
I'm not saying
and she accepted that because she think that's what love is.
Everybody, all of us, even women, we all visual, right? If we up there watching a boxing match, right? Everybody in the crowd, like when somebody get hit, they're like, ooh, you know, everybody's doing it. But let's take that sight away and let's put somebody getting pistol whipped. People's not gonna look at that. You know that's wrong. You get what I'm saying? You're gonna cringe at that. You're gonna cringe at that. So in with them two things, you know one thing is right, one thing is wrong. So you apply that to your life. If it makes my soul, my heart feel a certain way that I know is not healthy for me, that I wouldn't do. You know what I'm saying? Like, why would you do things like this?
See, this is the only pushback that I have for that, right? Is that a lot of times it's like I was saying, when you see something growing up, and you know, kids are programmable, very, very, you know, what they call it, impressionable. Right. So when you're growing up and you're seeing a certain thing, you may not know it's bad because you see it so much. That's just like us growing up in the neighborhoods that we grew up in. A lot of times we don't realize how bad we got it until we leave that and go to college and run into a friend that's, you know, both his parents together, and they, you know, he got a trust fund and he got this and he got that, and we get to talking about some of the experiences, and he looking at us like we crazy. Wait, they did what? It was shooting. It was drug dealing going on right there by your house, and it's just. But to us, it's normal. We don't see nothing wrong with it. So that mindset is programmed into us, but we don't know what we doing wrong until we run into a totally different type of environment. And that's why it would advise people to get as far away from your neighborhood as you possibly can, to just go out here and see what's out here. But again,
I don't know, man, because I see it different, because I knew the shit that even as a young child, I understood like with me growing up with the people I'm growing up around and all that, and seeing the structure and seeing different things about what different households is bringing, I understood when I get to the situation where I can control my outcome, I will not do these things.
But here's the thing though, but you saw some examples, right?
Yeah, I saw a lot of examples.
Positive examples. That's what I'm saying, what you wanted. And so some people don't get those positive examples.
So I seen some positive examples, right? But I also seen the chinks in the armor. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because when you're around so much, you really, really get to see inside it. Now, if you just somebody, like if you just a friend, you just go and pick your friend up and you leaving. All you, in a sense, all you seeing is a good relationship. But if you're around, you know what I'm saying, something is going to happen to where you start seeing the chinks in the armor. So for me, I was just seeing these type of things. You get what I'm saying? So I'm like, all right, I can use this, but I won't use that. I can use this and I won't use that. But everything, like as far as like the hood shit in me, you get what I'm saying? I knew all of that was wrong. I knew I didn't want to take penitentiary chances. I mean, it's my situations. You get what I'm saying? But I knew in them times, all that shit was wrong. I knew in my heart and my soul, like, I'm bigger than this. But I don't know how yet, but I'm bigger than this.
Look, you saying what you right though, But some people can't compartmentalize that. They can't separate these, few instances when it really is big.
That's why
I don't judge it.
That's why I don't judge kids when they make the mistake. When you're making the mistakes as a kid, I will never judge you. You a child. But the moment you deem yourself jumping off that porch and you grown out here, you making your decisions and got to stand on your 2 feet, you know what time it is. You know what's going to put you in that jail cell. You know what I'm saying? You know, goddamn me, if you goddamn beating on this woman and her family going to come through and stump your head out, you knew that. You knew all that. But you chose against it anyway.
But see, look though, I'm gonna break it down to even different aspect, in terms of something that's less vulgar, right? Just in terms of mindset. Mm-hmm. Growing up in the type of environment we grew up in, we are programmed to be standoffish. We are programmed to be the hardest nigga in the room, the toughest nigga in the room. We are programmed to not be friendly. It's looked down on when we doing those things. We are programmed to snipe women, which we always get to talking about. But let me say that for another part of the conversation. A lot of men that's in our environments are taught to be standoffish. We taught to be cold. We taught to be tough. We taught to be loyal to our small circle, and we just gonna do that, and that's just what it is. And what that does is that cuts us at the knees, because again, it takes for you to leave that environment to realize, well, damn, that's gonna work to my detriment. In reality, how you grow in this world is networking and meeting people and branching out and getting into new, circles and just different environments, and that's what's gonna progress me to the next level. But growing up, all my life, I'd have been programmed to be standoffish and to be, you don't want to be too friendly. You don't want to come off as you like you vulnerable or somebody gonna take advantage of you and stuff like that. So again, that's an example on one end in which programming can mess you up, which is why it's important. But on the other end, just in how men are raised to be, right, in terms of what gets you women when you're younger. Toxicity. It does. We done said it many times on this podcast. The man that's sniping the most women, the man that's finessing and doing this situation, like that's what we are. That's what we praise. That's what we deem to be successful in terms of, success with the other gender. Mm-hmm. But all those attributes work to your detriment when you get in a relationship. So if the man is programmed, and that's why it's so hard for dudes to be successful in relationships, because it's like we got to flip a switch and go against everything that we done been programmed to do. He may know what's right, just like you saying, know what's right, know what's wrong. But I'm programmed to do this. It's just like somebody that's in the military. If I'm trained to kill in this situation, when the situation arises, my instincts are gonna go to kill, not conflict resolution, not to die down, whatever the case may be. But because I'm programmed. And I just say that that's important because when you get in a relationship with somebody, those type of things, like you can end up dealing with repercussions of their programming from a young age. So that's why, the parenthood, how somebody grew up, all that shit is very, very important, because most people don't even take the time to go get that shit sorted out like you're supposed to do when you're an adult. They just go into the new relationship, dump all that shit on the table and just say, hey man, I would be nice if you just work with me. If you just understand, it's what I come from. Just understand, be patient with me. Instead of them going to do that self-work. So again, knowing how somebody grew up is imperative, because if that shit just gets sprung on you and you might have did the self-work and you run into a motherfucker that didn't, you got to deal with consequences of them not doing it.
Trust issues.
That's all I'm saying.
I
like trust issues.
I hear you. But for me, the moment you become a grown man or a woman, in my eyes, your decisions are going to define you. Fuck what your parents taught you.
For sure.
Yeah.
Sure.
You know what you're saying.
That's my only thing. And you're right. People do be programmed to do certain things and all that type of shit there. But when are you going to break the mold?
That's another thing too.
When are you going to be the
Everybody
first?
on different times. Some people going to wake up at 21. Some people not wake up till they 35.
Some people
don't wake up at all.
Most people don't wake up at all.
So
that's real.
You know what I'm saying?
But and again, that's why I ain't even speaking from that person's perspective. I'm speaking of the person that got to be there while they trying to change and deal with all the bullshit that's gonna come with it, because it's gonna come with it. So if I'm that person, I would want to know how you grew up, because I need to know. Okay, is this shit gonna be too much for me? Do I need to brace for? Like, what do I need to look for in this type of situation? So if you don't got that information, you just gonna get smacked in the face with that bullshit. Yeah. And it's like, damn, now I love you and I'm invested in this, and we done got all this time in, and you know, now I got to deal with it. You grew up in a situation where it was what going on in the house? Mm-hmm. And now everything's starting to click as to why you so cold-hearted with me when you mad at me, or how when we, you know, trying to resolve conflict, you just shut down. Or you go above and beyond irate. You punching holes in walls and leaving the crib and all kind of like that type of shit. So again,
and I'm supposed to know you and work with that.
Right.
Be patient with that. Especially
if I didn't grow up under those programming circumstances.
And if it was me, I'm out.
I'm gone. That's real. That's real.
Immediately.
That's real. Bro.
The moment you show that something that you don't have under control, right? You could be dealing with anything. But if you don't have it under control, no, I'm done.
Real rough.
I'm done, because that's telling me, you telling yourself, one day I'm gonna unleash this on him. You know what I'm saying? And I'm done. I'm before you even get to that point, I can care less how good the ass was. I'm done.
Or even worse, you don't even plan to do it, but I can't control myself.
I'm done.
I don't know what I'm gonna do.
There's nothing for us to talk about. You gonna have a nice
that's the
life.
most dangerous shit in the world.
I'm good. And to me, I don't never go back on nothing.
Yeah.
I don't even look at my past. I took the mirror off the car.
Took the rear view off.
You know what I'm saying? And the side mirror. I don't see nothing.
That's a fact. Going straight forward.